Je donne la parole à Madame Karim pour sa présentation, s'il vous plaît.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last month, the 25th of August, 2025, marks the 8th anniversary of the Rohingya genocide that forced more than 1 million people, including myself and my family, to flee home. Genocide is a process. It did not end when we fled home, and it continues to happen to my community. The recent conflict between the Arakan Army and the military, especially since the 4th of August 2024, forced tens of thousands of Rohingya people to flee home and rejoin their existing families in Cox's Bazar. Therefore, nearly 1.3 million people are languishing in the world's largest refugee camp today, more than half of whom are women and children. They all depend on the humanitarian aid and the food rations that come from the World Food Program, WFP, once a month. In the past few years, the humanitarian crisis in Myanmar has gotten worse. People are starving. People have no security at all. Meanwhile, in the camps in Bangladesh, people have very limited access to education and livelihood opportunities. Over the past year and a half, we have seen increased numbers of refugees, especially women and children, risking themselves on tiny boats on the seas for weeks to flee to neighboring countries, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia, expecting a better life. Most of them die in the sea, and others are arrested on the Myanmar border and are put in jail on a passport case for 5 years or longer. Only a small number manage to arrive at their destination, where they are not recognized or welcomed as refugees. 2017 is not the first time Rohingya became refugees in our neighboring country, Bangladesh. Rohingya were forced to flee many times from the 90s and even earlier. Thousands of refugees in Kutupalong, who are called the registered refugees, have lived there for generations. Over decades, each time we were sent back to Myanmar, and as we began to settle in and rebuild our lives, we were over and over again forced to flee our homes, back to Bangladesh. This time we want a permanent solution, so the Rohingya refugees don't have to keep going back and forth. Ultimately, the solution for our community should be found within Myanmar and within Rakhine State. As an intermediate step towards this goal, the internally displaced people, IDPs, must be able to return to their homes safely, without any restrictions or conditions. The humanitarian crisis in Myanmar must be addressed. Aid must be delivered in Rakhine State, Myanmar, for the remaining members of the Rohingya community and other minorities to improve their condition and situation. The refugees in Cox's Bazar must get education following the Burmese curriculum, must have security and protections, and must receive sufficient aid funding to survive while they are in the camps. An accountability mechanism for atrocities committed against the Rohingya community must be instated in Myanmar. Our ultimate goal is to return back to our country one day, to find a sustainable solution, a dignified, voluntarily, and safe repatriation to our homes. Rakhine State has never and will never exist without Rohingya and other minorities. As we think through the long-term solutions, it is crucial for the government to ensure the meaningful and safe participation of Rohingya community members in any political dialogue and talks with the Myanmar authorities. I call on the international community to pay the much-needed attention to our Rohingya community, and I call on donor countries to commit resources to meet the Rohingya community's urgent needs. It is a collective responsibility for us to protect the Rohingya community from further genocide and injustice. I hope the member states and all relevant stakeholders will implement this recommendation and take immediate actions. I thank you.
Merci. Je donne la parole à M. Tsaouk pour sa présentation, s'il vous plaît.